おやおや、呼び出したと思ったら。
I'll be the one to say it. GhostWire Tokyo didn't receive enough love when it launched last year. However, now that the exclusive deal is over with PC and PlayStation, the gloves come off for this free update, A Spider's Thread. More than just a new game mode, Tango Gameworks created more reasons to jump back into this nightmarish Tokyo and experience an expanded narrative, new area, and roguelike inspired gauntlet. Before we get into the review, we'd like to thank our Patreon supporters for making this possible. Please take a second to check out patreon.com/noisypixel to support independent game journalism.
なんだよこれ。気に入ったか、持っていけ。こんなものどこで？
GhostWire Tokyo, A Spider's Thread does expand on a few crucial story scenes that I feel attempts to clear up any confusion players may have had with the narrative. While the answers to some of these new scenes could have been found in optional quests or texts, this puts it front and center. Returning players may question whether they've seen these scenes, but I feel like I noticed a few of the new interactions which enhance a first or even second playthrough of the adventure. Another reason to return is the school, which acts as more of a haunted house as the game does a lot to scare you throughout the halls. The interactions between Akito and KK during these new missions are pretty great. I mean, I felt attached to their symbiotic relationship before, but these added exchanges go a long way to delivering a great gameplay experience. Further, new abilities can be found, which takes some getting used to, given that the action already required you to use nearly every button on the controller to perform combos with magic, talismans, and a bow. The added melee options, which add elements to your attacks, give a reason to get in close. These end up helping higher difficulty runs given the low ammunition count and high HP of enemies. These added skills just give you more reason to approach combat, greatly benefiting those playing for the first time. Access to these new systems provides an entirely new gameplay experience than I remembered on the PS5. The added quality of life features made returning even more fun as the controls have become a little bit more refined since the initial launch. GhostWire Tokyo, A Spider's Thread also adds a new game mode that unlocks after completing Chapter 2. A Spider's Thread is accessed from the title screen and takes Akito and KK to an alternative universe full of ghostly trials and cats. Now, players are tasked with making their way through 30 levels of trials. The levels are not procedurally generated and are crafted to test players' skills. Yes, things can get challenging, but there are a few systems in place that make it easier. Upon death, players will be sent back to level 1 with most of their money lost. However, skills, levels, and some equipment are held onto. This allows players to get a little stronger each run to get further, hopefully, but you're also at the mercy of your skill. Abilities have been pretty much reset in this mode, and players will need to unlock them using money found in the trials. The layout of the trials is random, but I did notice the later levels are much more difficult. Once you enter a level, a mission is provided which asks various things such as get to the end of the level, save some souls, or even answer a question. Then, every few floors, you'll fight a boss and gain access to the Cat's Paw, a store run by cats to purchase talisman and earn rewards. After a few runs, you'll be equipped to reach the lower levels, but this mode is relentless. Each level tells you how much money or items is in it, and you're given the choice of risk versus reward. Do you just go to the next level, or do you fight a group of enemies for some much needed spirit thread to use for items? It's a question that I asked myself constantly and one that killed me many times. Restarting isn't completely frustrating after a few upgrades. These early levels become more accessible and manageable as you understand their quirks and strategic ways of getting through unharmed. However, there are some challenging encounters, as all the most formidable enemies from the base game are found here. There's a story mode to this that unlocks as you progress. Its primary purpose is to make you being in this universe make sense, but its staying power may differ from player to player. There were moments when my eagerness to get to the next level caused me to disconnect from the narrative as I had to keep my heart rate up for the battles ahead. As a returning player, I had a great time replaying this adventure. I urge those who venture into the yokai-infested streets of Tokyo to play into the end, because the story and overall lore of this experience shouldn't be glossed over or left in your backlog. Some issues return in terms of control when judging distance or general navigation, but it becomes easier over time. GhostWire Tokyo: A Spider's Thread enhances the base experience, adding a new mode and refined systems. It gives players a reason to return to this adventure to finish the first time or play through again with new missions and added story content. A Spider's Thread mode also tests players' skill through creative challenges and adorable interactions with cats. Noisy Pixel is giving GhostWire Tokyo: A Spider's Thread a 9 out of 10. Thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers providing independent gaming coverage through news, reviews, previews, and more. Check out our Patreon to help support our continued growth and subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Noisy Pixel.